What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be installing some Raptor bed liner on my 1998.5 Dodge Ram 2500. Now let's get into what you're going to need for this. So I ordered a kit on Amazon and it came with the spray gun, 4 bottles of Raptor liner, and the hardener. Now I'm expecting this to be enough for my bed because I have a short box, so 4 bottles should be enough. Now that kit ran me $108. Now the other things I have are this fitting for the spray gun, which is necessary, some high build primer, and some self-etching primer. Now the high build primer is not necessary and most people don't use it, but I would like to fill in some dings in my bed, which is necessary to have the high build primer. Now the self-etching primer is only used if you have surface rust in your bed. Now some people actually do sand down their whole bed even without surface rust and then spray the self-etching primer, but really it's not necessary. You only need it if you have surface rust. Now, like I said before, the kit cost me $108 on Amazon and the high build primer cost me $18 on Amazon. Now I had the self-etching primer and I had the fitting, so really I'm only into this $126, which is pretty good for a good bed liner. And so most people should be expecting around $150 if you don't already have self-etching primer, the fitting, and or if you have a long box. So let's get a little bit into the process. I'm going to pressure wash out my bed, then I'm going to degrease it, then I'm going to take some lower grit sandpaper and sand down all that surface rust to bare metal. Then we're going to take some higher grit sandpaper and kind of scuff up, especially like on the sides of the beds where it's not as scuffed up already. Scuff up the paint so that it creates a better bond. Then we're going to fill in the dings with the high build primer and then sand that down to where we want it. Then we're going to go through and take the self-etching primer and spray that on anywhere there's bare metal. And then we'll spray the Raptor liner. Now let me get all this cleaned up, as well as our very professional tripod, and we'll get started. Alright, so we got the bed all pressure washed out. Pretty clean to begin with. I just kind of wanted to get all the loose stuff out, but so now let's get her back into the shop so we can start sanding. Everything's all sanded down. Even got all the masking done. Keep in mind that it doesn't hurt to over mask. It's worth it to spend the money because, especially when you're using bed liner, you get bed liner overspray and that is not coming off. So don't be afraid to over mask. But so I use this angle die grinder with an 80 grit lap disc, and yes, the paint turned it pink. Then I also use this strip of 180 grit sandpaper. Mainly use the sandpaper to scuff it up so that the primer will stick, and use the lap disc for getting all the rust off. But after looking at it, I'm pretty much gonna have to spray the self-etching primer everywhere. There's just a few spots that I wouldn't need it, so I'm just gonna go to the extra mile and spray the whole thing. So now we're gonna wipe all this down with some lacquer thinner to get all of the excess paint resin as well as any grease or anything that's in the bed. Then we're gonna spray it down. So we got the bed all cleaned up with the lacquer thinner, and you can see that the bed's still light colored. That's because we had to scratch it all up so that the primer will get a good bond. And so now, just gotta shake this can. We'll be ready to primer. Alright, so we just got the first coat of the primer done. As you can see, it's pretty uneven, but you want light coats. Many light coats is better than a thick coat. So I used a whole can there. So I'm probably gonna run to Napa and grab 2 more cans because, as you can see, that's only 1. I'm gonna need probably 2 more coats, so. Alright, so we're gonna mix 250 milliliters of hardener into this bottle. Now I know the bottle has a line right there that you're supposed to fill up to, but the bottle is really dark, so I'm gonna make it more precise by putting it in a measuring cup. So let's get started. Now we gotta shake for 2 minutes and we'll start spraying. Alright, so we're finished here. Get a good look at it. So I ended up using 3 bottles to coat it once. Keep in mind this is still dry. And then I used that 4th bottle to just go over the bottom of the bed one last time because that's gonna get the most things thrown at it. So I'll have to take the masking off of the hitch and the power for the trailer brakes. But other than that, guy going by on his moped, but it looks amazing. My bed was quite beat up and it looks great. Pretty user friendly, wasn't hard. Just lots of sanding time and lots of masking time. Probably spent 2 hours sanding and 2 hours masking. Definitely worth it. You have to hurry up and take the masking off about 15 minutes after you spray it, is what they recommend, because it will adhere to the tape and then it won't want to come off. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll make an update video later about how it's holding up, if I have any problems with it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe for more content.